Welcome to YCA Push. Today we are talking about prioritization. And whenever we talk about prioritization, one more term comes into the mind, that is procrastination. What do? We have a lot of work, we have a lot of things to do. Maybe we have done our to-do list, or maybe a memo, or maybe a notepad we are carrying where we have jotted down what we have to do, maybe throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year. We are doing goal setting actually. So we talk about MBO, we are doing goal setting, management by objectives we can do, and we can do goal setting. I will talk about the difference later, or if there is any. Goal setting. We are setting daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, sometimes maybe quarterly goals. Because if you look at the financial aspects, you will see that we are having 4 quarters. We are splitting the year into 4 parts, and then we are splitting the year into 4 parts, and then we are looking at the economic performance or the financial performance. But prioritization, it's much more than just business. It's about life too. In life, we wake up, we do so many activities in our life. But one person is different from another person. One successful person is different from a person who is not so successful. What makes them different? We all have 24 hours a day. And how we utilize that time, each second, each minute, each hour, that matters a lot. So whatever you want to do in your life, wherever you are, you can immediately change your life, or at least the course of your life. You can go towards a different path with a lot more self-discipline, a lot more prioritization. How you are setting your priorities, what is more important to you, what is your life's purpose, what is your goal, what is your life's purpose, what do you want to achieve in life, why do you want to achieve in life? Because sometimes the why is more powerful. And when you know your purpose, when you know that why, you are driven by that, you will figure out how you will do that. And then the what is in between, and you can think about that too. But priorities again, what is important to you? What is important to you cannot be the same for some other person. That person can put some importance to something totally different. But whenever we are talking about business, or whenever we are talking about life, in general, if you want to be more productive, if you want to be more efficient, if you want to be more effective, I think you will understand that you have limited resources, time and energy. If I consider time only, as I said, you have 24 hours a day. Then how you use your time, that is really important. So if you really want to use your time effectively, then you have to consider time as a very critical resource. And if you do that, we can set our priorities accordingly. What do you want to achieve? Then when we talk about procrastination, then what do? Suppose you have to do task A, task B, task C, and task D. I'm just giving you one example. So you have 4 tasks. Now the task A is having more priority for you. Now there are many ways of setting that priority, different systems, different methods with which you can actually set your priorities, and you go accordingly. But generally, just if you look at 4 tasks, then the task A is more important to you, but still you are going towards task C. Why is that? Maybe you are lacking self-discipline, maybe you are allured by something which you cannot control, maybe something else is happening around you, you are a product of that circumstance, you are a slave to the situation, you are driven by something external maybe. Or maybe you are choosing because you want to be lethargic, you want to be lazy, you don't want to focus on the highest priority task, and you are drawn towards maybe task C and task D. Then how do you do that? You have to set your priorities. If task A is more important in your life, or maybe for a particular day, then you have to focus on task A. So sometimes, we talk about tackling the difficult problems early in the morning. So when you wake up, when nobody is waking up, maybe around 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m., you are waking up and you are looking at the things you have to do, or things you can introspect on, what you have done maybe yesterday or maybe last week. So what you can do is you can take some time when other people are sleeping, and you can focus on your work because there is a lot of silence. You can concentrate in a better way. There is a fresh energy towards doing the work, so you can utilize that really well. And you are tackling the difficult problems, you are focusing on the highest priority tasks, and you are getting it done. When you do that, it actually gives you a lot more push or motivation, to do something else. So when you are tackling that, then you will see that maybe you didn't have task E or F in your list, but you still are motivated to do that task. So that's why we can always procrastinate. We can always postpone things. We can think about doing the thing later, tomorrow, or maybe the day after, or maybe next week. We can always do that. Sometimes with our friends, with our family, we can decide. Sometimes with other kinds of people, we can decide whether you should do it or not. But you have to understand that priorities of other people are not priorities of you, right? So you have to understand what is your priority, or maybe what are your priorities: daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. So accordingly, you put your time, you put your resources, you put your energy, you get things done. And let me tell you one thing about life. People who have worked for a long time, they already have understood this. But when you respect yourself, people will respect you. When you show that you are a very productive guy, you are a very effective guy, people will respect you, and they will, most of the people, they will do that. But very few people in your life will tell you maybe you are not focusing on your priorities. Maybe you are getting deviated from your life's purpose. Maybe you are not doing the thing you are supposed to do. So we should respect those people, and we should take that suggestion or advice into account, and we can get things done. But again, many people can tell you many things. They can share their opinions, they can share their suggestions, but it's your life. Ultimately, you have to choose. So you set your priorities, you get things done. And we talk about athletic motivation. So when you are a different professional, it can be very different for you. When you are a person from the media and entertainment industry, it can be very difficult for you. When you are a person from the media and entertainment industry, it can be very different for you. When you are from the sports background, it can be very different for you. When you are from other industries, it can be very different for you. But you will understand that when you are a public personality, when you are maintaining your public persona, you have to deal with a lot of things. When you are going for sports, when you are becoming an athletic person, you have to work hard a lot. You have to practice. Maybe as an actor too, maybe you are practicing a lot, you are studying a lot, you are doing a lot of plays, you are doing a lot of processes, you are going through a lot, you are suffering, you are enjoying the pleasures, you are enjoying the performances, you are going through recreation, all these things you are going through, you are having some good time with other artists, you're doing all these things, but ultimately, maybe for 10 minutes of performance, you are bringing all these things together, or things are happening, and you are performing. So that's why maybe for one scene of 10 minutes or 5 minutes or maybe 2 minutes or maybe sometimes for seconds, if I consider advertisements for seconds, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of hard work, to do that. So for an athletic person, if I consider Olympics, if I consider other competitive events, what they do is they perform maybe for seconds, maybe for minutes, but they are working really hard, with coaches, with other methods and processes. They are really working hard. They have set their priorities. They are going for something. They are driven by something. They are going for something, and it's very different from a normal person's life, and maybe they cannot relate to it, but you should respect that process, that hard work. But in different places, people don't do that. So it's not that person's fault, it's the fault of those people. They cannot relate to it, they can come up with their own excuses, they can come up with their own, maybe opinions or whatever it is. But you have to do the thing, you have to do the practice, you have to do the thing. So many people will criticize you for that, many people will tell you many things, but you have to prioritize. And it goes for anything. Suppose a place where there is a lot of violence, a place where there is a lot of, activities which you don't need as an artist, a violent place, a place where you have a lot of nuisance, if I say so. But you want to be an artist, you want to be a photographer, you want to be maybe an editor, maybe you want to be an actor. So that can be your motivation, that can be part of your process, but you can still become an actor. And it's not a bad thing to become an actor, it's not a bad thing to become a cinematographer, it's not a bad thing to become a director, it's not a bad thing to become an editor, it's not a bad thing to become a businessman. Because sometimes people think business is all about money. It's obviously about money, but there is a lot of people working under you, there is a lot of people working for you. Sometimes you have to take some tough calls, and you have to make some really tough decisions, complex decisions, and many people won't be with you. So those things matter in business. Obviously we are focusing on money, we are focusing on revenue, where we are focusing on the market share, we are focusing on the growth, we are focusing on infrastructure development, customer base development, we are focusing on all these things. But sometimes you need to do something which may be not acceptable to other people. Sometimes people will criticize you for it, but you have to take those decisions, or you have to get things done, so. And to build the business in a better way, and when it is already built, you are even expanding the business or making it bigger. When you do all these things, then it's a lot about interactions, communication, strategic alliances, strategic partnerships. When you do all these things, you will see that sometimes it's just not only about money, it's about a lot of other things. So prioritization helps. But if I talk about life, if I talk about business, if I talk about management, you will see that we will see a lot of similarities, we will see a lot of similarities, and how we take our decisions, how we prioritize things. You will understand a lot of things we can relate to. It can be in business, it can be in life, it can be in relationships, how we prioritize things, and that can make a significant difference. So if I have to do something now, if I have to get things done, then I should not wait for tomorrow. I should not wait for the day after tomorrow. Rather, we should get it done today or maybe now. That's a good attitude to have.